Spider-Man, get screwed over by a bunch of hacks. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to go over the top 10 worst Spider-Man stories of all time. These are some of the stories that have completely scarred the webhead, brutally beating him to death until there is no pulse, and then they go back to beating him again even after he died. And just to clarify things, this is my personal list, so if there's a story here that's not on the list, I either forgot about it or haven't read it, feel free to mention it in the comments section. But anyway, let's not get carried away. Let us begin with number 10. This one might be a controversial pick, but at number 10, I have Spiderman Rain. A very divisive book. Some people love it, some people hate it. This is pretty much a very weird book. Like, very weird in terms of Spider-Man standards. It is very dark, more darker than Kraven's Last Hunt. Like, I'm surprised that they managed to make something darker. But overall, this story, yeah, it's been compared as the Dark Knight Returns of Spider-Man, and it kind of is. And they were aware of that. Obviously there's more to it than that, but honestly the story just didn't feel right to me. It's not the worst, and that's why it's at number 10, because it's not the worst thing ever. It just doesn't feel like Spider-Man. And I get that they were trying to do like a mental horror type of story, but I don't think it executed well. And also, we also have that infamous panel where Peter apparently killed Mary Jane with his radioactive sperm. Yeah, that happened.
What the fuck?
At number 9, it's also going to be a controversial one. Superior Spider-Man by Dan Slott. Now, the concept of this story is interesting. You have Doc Ock and Peter switching minds. Doc Ock takes over as Spider-Man while Peter is dead. And yeah, he causes some chaos. The first couple of issues were pretty decent, and there are definitely some decent things about this run, but it drags so long. Just like how Dan Slott overstayed his welcome with his Amazing Spider-Man run, and it felt like it should have ended earlier, but they just kept on going for a while. And yeah, I mean, that's Dan Slott, and Dan Slott's writing is cringy as fuck as well. Not always, but most of the time. For me, it just didn't grab me as much as other people. Like I said, I like some things about it, and that's why it's lower on the list as well. But yeah, Superior Spider-Man at number 9. At number 8, we have a story that many people probably have forgotten about. SpiderMan Bloodline, written by Henry Abrams, alongside J.J. Abrams. Yes, the J.J. Abrams, the guy that directed the new Star Trek films, Star Wars The Force Awakens, and Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Mr. Lens Flare himself. And alongside his son, wrote a Spider-Man book. Hey, remember that countdown that Marvel did, where it was counting down starting from 4, and people thought it was a Spider-Man 4 comic continuation that was going to be written by Sam Raimi? Well, we were all fucking wrong, and this is what we got. The Spider-Man Bloodline is, yeah, it's shit. And just like in every J.J. Abrams movie, it has a twist. It doesn't even focus on Peter Parker. It focuses on his son, who becomes the next Spider-Man after Peter loses his arm and also lost Mary Jane. So hey, we got that Mary Jane slander there, but don't worry, the ending of this fucking book, just complete nonsense. It's so baffling, and I was just like shocked how bad the ending of that book was. Peter's son in this is a freaking brat. He's unlikable and so forgettable. He does nothing new that we haven't seen from Peter Parker. But overall, yeah, this is one of the most forgettable Spider-Man books out there. At number 7 is one that's not really mentioned a lot in these top 10 worst Spider-Man lists, and that is The Evil That Men Do, written by Kevin Smith. Now, this book is, I'll say this, the first 3 issues of this are kind of fun. Like, the whole dynamic between Spider-Man and Black Cat is written pretty well, and this is during a time when Peter was married to Mary Jane, and we had those flirty moments with the two, although he was married, but it actually was done pretty well, and it was a lot of fun. But then 4 years later, I'm not even joking, 4 years, Kevin Smith took a break from writing his run. And the last 3 issues are some of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen. I'll just say this: Sweet Home Alabama, like, holy fuck. The last 3 issues of this run just completely turned a 180. Like, what the hell happened? And it also completely retcons Black Cat's origin. And to me, it just was kind of baffling because it kind of ruins her relationship with her father, Walter Hardy, in a way. And I was just baffled by this book. And the covers of these are phenomenal. Like, there's some of the most gorgeous looking covers I've ever seen. But unfortunately, the interiors of these sucked balls. Literally. Number 6 is a well-known Spider-Man story that completely scarred one of his supporting characters, and that is, of course, Since Past. Since Past, which completely ruins Gwen Stacy as a character. The fact that she had a relationship with Norman Osborn, the guy that will eventually kill her, and so she cheated on Peter to be with Norman. Like, what the actual fuck was J. Michael Straczynski, of all people, thinking? What the hell happened? And I don't know if this is his fault or not, but it's just really, really bad. And the artwork, I can't remember who the artist was, but it has these like weird, like, takes like inspiration from like real life actors. Like, Norman Osborn looks like Tommy Lee Jones a little bit. Like, what the fuck is this? So artwork's a bit weird because of that, and just the story itself just completely scarred the Spider-Man universe for a very long time until the great Nick Spencer retconned it. Thank God. Number 5 is not really a Spider-Man story per se, but it revolves around Spider-Man characters, and that is Trouble by Mark Millar. Why the fuck does this book exist? For those of you that don't know, Trouble is a story that focuses on Aunt May, Uncle Ben, and Peter's parents at an early age, and it's one of those like romantic drama story types where Aunt May is pretty much a fucking slut, and she is having sex with Richard Parker, Peter's dad, many times, cheating on Ben, and it's pretty much just Aunt May having sex a lot in this story. That's pretty much what the entire fucking story is. And the freaking ending to this book, my god, it retcons the entire history of Peter Parker, completely changes everything, completely. So it turns out the twist of this story is that May Parker is actually the mother. She abandons Peter. Why? Number 4, oh, this one's been talked about in a lot of top 10 lists. The Clone Saga. Yeah, the freaking Clone Saga. One of the most annoying fucking stories of all time. Where it's like asking like so many fucking questions about whether Peter Parker is the clone and Ben Reilly is the real Peter Parker. And it just keeps on going for almost fucking 2 years. 2 fucking years, and all of it is just switching around whether Peter is the clone or not. Most of the time, that's what it is. It's so fucking annoying. The fact that it took this long. Marvel, what the fuck was Marvel thinking? Torturing us with this fucking storyline. Like, my god. You knew this one was going to be on the list. I did have a hard time trying to pick which one, but I just said fuck it. And that is, of course, the entirety of Zebells SpiderMan run. Originally, I was going to put Gang War, which is fucking atrocious, but no, everything in Zebells' run is so bad, it completely ruins the character of Peter. It completely ruins everything. He breaks up Peter and MJ. He brings in this fucking terrible character named Paul. Fuck Paul. And it just makes Peter a whiny little bitch through the entire fucking run. And thank God it's almost over. Fuck this run. Number 2 and number 1 are the big ones right here. These are the ones that are some of the worst fucking Spider-Man stories of all time that completely damaged the character for eternity. Till this day, at number 2, we have One Moment in Time. One Moment in Time is a story where it retcons the wedding day of Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson. It tells the story of what happened to Peter during their wedding day, why he didn't make it, why the wedding was off, all this shit. And the art is atrocious, by the way. This is drawn by Joe Quesada, and also it was written by Joe Quesada. Yes, a story that is a sequel to one of the worst fucking Spider-Man stories out there. Joe Quesada had to remind us 2 years later after that story to retcon some things. It's so unnecessary and so baffling and should not have existed. Because this book exists because of number one. It was obvious that this was going to be number one. Obvious. Like, this is the one story that has ruined the character of Peter Parker. That has ruined what defines the character. Makes him a selfish prick. He completely does something that Peter Parker would not do, and it is so insulting. It's insulting to the character, and it's a big FU to all the fans. Until this day, it is still one story that they will not retcon because they want Peter to be a freaking playboy. They want Peter to fuck so many chicks. Mary Jane has been treated like shit all these years. It just ruined the Spider-Man lore. So that is my list. Are there any that I forgot? Comment down below your list. And that's all for today. Like and subscribe. And as always, let's hug it out.